This is Agatha Carter, and you're watching the Urban Wrestling Network.
Welcome to another edition of the LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships review, taking a look back at LFC 25, the showdown at Samstown. I am the official LFC podcast host, Michael Larkin, joined as always by my brother, Chef. How you doing, Chef?
I'm beautiful, my brother. I'm excited to do this. Listen, I don't even know how long we've been talking about doing an LFC show together. So, listen, I'm excited to do this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, anytime we do anything, it winds up bubbling.
Oh, of course. And for me, I look at it like this. Like, we're discussing LFC 25 Showdown at Samstown, with the main event being Monica Flowerbomb Garcia, Roxy Roundhouse Michaels for the LFC Championship, which we will get into. But what's great about this event is, dude, we're at Samstown. We are at Las Vegas, Nevada. Samstown, a hotbed for a lot of shows, from wrestling, from MMA. We've seen LFC do this venue. We've seen future stars of wrestling do this venue. We've seen Impact Wrestling tape shows here. We've seen Ring of Warriors tape shows here. So this right here is a prominent venue in Las Vegas that kills it, and LFC did not do a disservice to this venue. They absolutely killed it with this event, that being the showdown at Samstown. So let's get right into the action here, Chef Ro. We start off with a debut, the lovely, and as you love, Cannibal Carter against Tasia Thrash Lochran. We see the entrances, man. First and foremost, the sensualness, the vibes of Agatha Cannibal Carter. You know, she's dancing. She's all along the cage. She's got that tongue. And as we know, this is the start of her cannibalistic ways. And then we got Tasia Thrash Lochran, who is just coming out with the hula hoop. You know what I'm saying? Alvin and the Chipmunks, a Christmas song, Me, I Want a Hula Hoop. And yes, I did, looking at Tasia Thrash Lochran. Hello. But my goodness gracious, man, we see a debut between Tasia Thrash Lochran, Agatha Cannibal Carter, both ladies making their debut. And Tasia Thrash Lochran gets the one with the rear naked choke. These ladies went back and forth. It was a nice exchange. And this would be something where we would see the start of Agatha Cannibal Carter going towards where we are now with LFC 30. And we've seen her do some stuff from 28, 29. As someone who would be a prominent role in LFC, and we saw Tasia Thrash Lochran. So let me ask you something. Tasia gets the win here. What were your thoughts on, because you guys have done a lot of great reviews with LFC. This is the debut of Agatha Cannibal Carter. This is the debut of Tasia Thrash Lochran. What did you think of both competitors in this bout?
I think both women came in hot. I mean, obviously, both women are absolutely gorgeous. I thought both of them put up a great fight. Allegedly, this is where the conspiracy theory of the bite started. Mm-hmm. Once again, I did not see it. I'm not going to play into the conspiracy. Definitely me being super, super biased because I love Agatha Carter. Listen, at the end of the day, we had a great debut. I didn't feel, because sometimes we watch some of these debuts and one of the women outshined the other one, and you're like, all right, she's going to be super good, and we don't really know about the other one. But both these ladies, this was a fight. I really enjoyed this from start to finish. I thought both put a hell of an effort into it. And from what we've seen going forward, listen, these girls have kept, they've kept battling going forward. They both look great so far.
I think for me, when you're making your LFC debut, and when you see such prominence that we have here with Samstown, like I mentioned, you have a lot of great women here that want to step it up. And I think what I like about LFC, and I've always appreciated, if you're going in there and you look past the fact that it's just lingerie, and if you just think and you have that mindset, oh, it's just girls running around in lingerie. No, there's a lot of work that goes into this. And I think these ladies had the right mindset going into this bout, and it made for an incredible bout between Tasia Lochran and Agatha Cannibal Carter, respectively, with Tasia Thrash Lochran getting the win, with a rear naked choke, in which was a dominant first matchup on the LFC 25 card. Then we get to something I did want to discuss, and I apologize because the name slips me with the commissioner. We had the Las Vegas, Nevada commissioner, and we had Maxine the Boss Frost come in. Maxine the Boss Frost, who is also an LFC fighter, trying to revoke and try to reverse the rule of the fact that, we can't strike in the face. You know what I'm saying? We can have lingerie, we can look good, we can look fabulous, we can look gorgeous, but no strikes to the face. And then the commissioner jumps in and says, hey, why not we just look gorgeous? Let's focus on the beauty aspect. We're talking about internal, external beauty, and that's where we have with that. Now, I got to ask you, because we've seen this rule a lot in LFC, and we've seen this in many past bouts and going forward as well. Not a lot of strikes to the face. Can't use the strikes to the face. It kind of focuses on the ground game. If I can make a wrestling comparison, it's like back in the day with Cowboy Bill Watts in WCW. Hey, if you go to the outside, if you throw him over the top rope or come from the top rope, throw him outside, it's an instant disqualification, which really also showcases the science and the mechanics of, hey, let's just focus on the in-ring work. Let's just focus on the ground game. It adds a little element to it, you know what I'm saying? And to quote Denzel Washington in Training Day, this is chess, it ain't checkers, when he's talking to Ethan Hawke. So I got to ask you, Mr. Sheffro, the ruling. And obviously we've seen what happens in days, with concussions and more that we learn about over the years and years and years with the research behind concussions and CTE. What are your thoughts about this rule? Maxine wanted to revoke it, the whole nine. What do you think about it?
No, I love it. I honestly don't think that this has a place in LFC because a lot of these beautiful women, they have jobs outside of LFC where they do the modeling and everything else. So you can't have your face looking busted up. And also, at this point of the game, concussions are such a dangerous thing. We've seen, and I don't want to go into a negative light, but we've seen guys like Junior Seau take his life due to concussions and everything else and the pain and everything. So at this point, I want to see less concussions because at the end of the day, they're here to entertain, put on a great show, do their fighting thing. But why at the end of the day should they ultimately pay a price to entertain us? So I completely agree with them no hitting in the face. And you got to think at this point, that means you got to get your body strikes on point. That means you got to defend your body. You got to defend your legs. You can shoot. You can go into the submission grapple games. A lot of these girls train in jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and all this other stuff. There's so many beautiful possibilities that can, honestly harness the close combat where you don't have to just go top heavy trying to knock somebody out. You know what I mean? It protects your roster. It protects them long term. And like I said, at the end of the day, why would you not want these women to be protected at the end, at the long term effects of their life?
I got to say this, by the way, because since you said that so eloquently about the art forms with your Muay Thai, which you call the Muay Thai, and I like to joke about your colorful vernacular and your grammar sometimes.
I chop up so many different names. It's incredible. If I don't chop it up, there's a problem.
I was about to say, man, when you said some Muay Thai, I was about to say, want me to go get some Mushu pork while we're at it, man. Some Mushu, hello.
Somebody give me some pork fried rice.
Exactly. Give me some mahi on top of that bitch. Anyway, I digress. No, it's one of those things where I look at it from a standpoint as you're absolutely correct, because also I look at it from going forward. Now we'll see Raul Ramirez from Cash Wrestling Alliance focuses and works with a lot of ladies like Jenny Bloody Valentine, Susie Stiletto Quinn, and Tomiko the Temptress Tajima. You have that mindset of something that's an art form from like the late 1800s, early 1900s. We're talking about guys like Luthez. We're talking about guys like George Hackenschmidt. And we've seen a lot of great people like that use the ground game and the, not really the high-octane aerial assault that a lot of people have seen over the years with the lucha libre styles and many styles in professional wrestling. But when you could focus on the ground game like that, whether it be leg submissions and the systematic dissection, dare I say, joint manipulation, I think it works all around. So, yes, I do agree with the decision as well. And also, it's a nice counter actor. You know what I'm saying? It's like not a counter offer like, my goodness, my cousin Vinny, Joe Pesci. The counter offer. We'll be here all day with that. The counter offer. Oh my goodness, friggin' let's take it back for the people. Not the sidetrack, but god dang, man. Pop culture, the counter offer. Hey, Yankee Wuss, I got you $200 right here. Oh, you know where I'm going with this. Anyway.
Dude, that classic joint. Classic.
My goodness. Whew, I think the fucking sicken's broken. Anyway, what's not broken is the show. Next up, we got Terry Feisty Fist London and Jenny Bloody Valentine. Before we even get into this bout, Mr. Sheffro, similar attires on both ladies.
I didn't know if I wanted to bring it up because I was like, because women really pride themselves on standing out and not looking the same. And when I watched it again, I was like, oh, snap. I'm not sure if they realized, they were going to wear something this similar. It was very close. And it actually surprised me. It caught me off guard a little bit. I was like, wow, I can't believe that happened.
By the way, I will say this. If you go onto the LFC YouTube, watch Terry and Jenny talk about the fact that they're wearing almost the same attire. And first and foremost, we got two beautiful ladies here. I mean, Jenny Bloody Valentine has not gotten a win yet at this point in time. We have Terry Feisty Fist London, who a lot of people don't even realize has done some dance work for Beyonce and Britney Spears, man. She's an incredible dancer, as we saw with her moves in her entrance. But you have a talent like that who's just so flexible and who has such fluidity in her maneuvers. And then you got this powerhouse Jenny Bloody Valentine, aka Miss Jennifer Thomas, who is a Paul Heyman girl in her own right. We've seen her do some wrestling work for WWE's Developmental Territory, OVW, and DSW, Deep South Wrestling. We've seen her do some stuff with UPW with Rick Bassman out in California. You just see a lot of women who's just beautiful strength-wise, and hence beauty, strength, and dominance. And there we have Terry Feisty Fist London. These two gave us a show. It was
wait. Can I ask you one question before you start the fight?
Yeah, go ahead.
Who did it better? Who wore the outfit better?
Oh man, you gonna put me on the spot here.
I gotta put you on the spot.
I gotta give it to my girl Terry, man.
Really? Okay.
I gotta give it to my girl. Why? You gotta go, Jenny?
Definitely, Jenny. I thought I don't want to say definite like Feisty Fish didn't look gorgeous. I'm not gonna say that. I just at the end of the day, I was like, okay, I think Bloody Valentine, she made it look better. But that was just my take.
All right. See, it's a tough one because they both are so beautiful. But you know what it is? Terry has that like fashion type of thing. Like she knows fashion. You know what I'm saying?
No question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I got to give it to Terry a little bit on the high points, man. But the fashion, you know what I'm saying? I was about to say, Chef, what are we doing here? We turned the LFC, this podcast here, this review, into some Project Runway. You're gonna get me all Tim Gunn here? You're gonna get me all verklempt? What's the dealio here, Chef?
You know what? I'm not trying to lose my hood card, but I'm watching a new. What's the name of that show that I'm enjoying? The Next in Fashion. It is a fashion show. I'm not gonna lie to you. I watched the wife, and I put the wife onto it. It's not like she came over and was like, "Hey, babe, you want to watch this?" No. I was like, "Yo, love, you want to watch this with me?" I'm not gonna lie to you. I love, and I watched Tim Gunn too. I love fashion myself.
I was about to say, man, you challenging your inner Kells and 2 Chainz. This is your story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so into the bout, we have Terry Feisty Fist London and Jenny Bloody Valentine. Really something I did enjoy. We did see the quickness of Terry, the power game of Jenny Bloody Valentine, and she gets the submission, which is like a head and arm choke. If I could compare it to anybody, for those wrestling fans out there, it's pretty much the equivalent of the Anaconda Vice that we've seen CM Punk do for, my goodness, the past 14, 15 years whenever he was with the WWE since the 2006, 2007 time that he was with the WWE. It was pretty much equated to the Anaconda Vice. And I think for this bout, we saw something in Jenny that we really get to see going forward with LFC bouts, just her overall power game, like I mentioned, just her overall ferocity. Same with Terry and with her speed and agility that we've seen also going forward. So these two had a great mesh, and I really did enjoy the chemistry that they had. And Terry getting the win with that head and arm choke, man, that Anaconda Vice. What'd you think, Chefro?
I think that, and I'm going to throw a reference that a lot of people might not know, is when the Rangers played the Devils lost, and it wound up making Martin Brodeur arguably the greatest goalie of all time through that loss. I felt that Bloody Valentine took this loss and seemed to come back with such a ferocious, physical. She's a monster. And I think that this propelled her going forward to fight a lot more aggressive. And I was like, whoa, she took this L, and you see the progression she made from taking the L. This was a great fight. I did not think that Jenny Bloody Valentine was as strong as she was. Like when you seen her walk in, I was like, oh, she got a dope body. You know, you could tell she works out and stuff. But then when you seen her like grab her and do some stuff, and all of a sudden you see muscle start popping, I was like, holy smokes, like this girl, you know, she's built, excuse me. And I was like, wow, like I was surprised. This was the match that surprised me. I didn't know what to expect from it. This was I think 27 was my first. I did it all weird. I went 27, 28, 25. It was so weird how I started watching all these pay-per-views. But I was like, holy smokes, like these are two bad mamma jammas. And I do feel that Bloody Valentine actually she kind of won going forward. She took the L, but it made her better going forward. If that makes sense.
Oh, of course. And I look at it like this for those that watch LFC and check out the Exposed on YouTube. She's pretty much said right now she was upset. She didn't even want to go to the meet and greet afterwards. She wanted to go home and have some ice cream, get some cookies up in that bitch. I don't blame her. Cleanse the soul with some food, if you will. But I digress. Sometimes you got to get a little sweet tooth action. But going forward, I think what's great about Jenny is like you mentioned, LFC 26 when she goes against Vatira, the Tomiko bouts that we've seen her go against a lot of great talents in the LFC. But this is one that really we got to see just how great that she really is with a veteran in her own right. And Terry Feisty Fist London. And I got to say this right here, Mr. Carl Carlton. She's a bad mamma jamma, just as fine as she can be. Yes. This one over here, talk about bad mamma jamma. Oh my goodness. Anyway,
This is why I love working with you, because we can say the wildest little things that nobody could pick up on, and you'll pick up on, or I'll pick up on. It's a good time.
it's a fucking classic song. Come on, people. She's bad mamma jamma, just as fine as she can be. Yeah. Oh my God, we'll take it into George Benson territory after that. We'll talk about turning your love around. Hello. Anyway, moving on to the next bout. We got Shelly Aphrodite da Silva, a.k.a. Miss Shelly Martinez, taking on Allie Baby Doll Parks. I mean, this is a woman, my goodness. Strength, beauty, dominance, as I always like to progress and profess, if you will. We got a woman who gave her brother a kidney. We got a woman who is a fan favorite amongst the LFC fans. We got Shelly Aphrodite da Silva, who's done some questionable acts in the past with her bout with Audrey Mongoose Monique, where we've seen her go after her eye. We've seen a lot of things. We've seen a lot of things come from Shelly Aphrodite Silva where she's got suspended from events. We've seen a lot of controversy, but hey, as Eric Bischoff once wrote in his book, controversy creates cash, and controversy does not leave the soul, the entity, the presence, if you will, of Miss Shelly Aphrodite Silva. And this one, we had a hell of a bout between the two where, once again, both women encompassed the physicality and the ferocity in this bout. We saw a little spit action. We try to see some chivalry at the end of it, but we saw them going back and forth at each other, water bottles be thrown. But at the end of the day, we saw something where we saw chemistry, we saw some greatness, and we saw a lot of fluidity and a lot of power game on the both end. And it went to unanimous decision with Shelly Aphrodite da Silva getting the W, but they went the distance, man. They're going the distance. So, Mr. Sheffro, Shelly Aphrodite da Silva, Allie Baby Doll Parks, thoughts on this bout?
All right, so I went into this knowing that Shelly Martinez is a former Impact Wrestling girl, right?
Yep, Salinas.
Yes. So I went into it being super biased, right? And I was like, why do I know this Allie Baby Doll Parks girl? And I know Allie Baby Doll Parks because of you, because I think she trained in that what's that wrestling school over there?
Well, she has not done NYWC work, but she has done a lot of work in like Las Vegas, and she's trained around the way, if you will. But yeah, not a New York girl, but she's done a lot. Yeah,
it wasn't her, but I know I've seen her through you.
Yes, I've done an interview with her before I just started doing some LFC work. But yeah, she's done a lot of wrestling as well. She's done some extra work for WWE, and actually, what we found out, she's actually good friends with Bayley, who is currently in the WWE. So yeah, she's done some extra work for WWE.
So I was like, okay, I know both girls, because one because of you, obviously the other one because of Impact. But I was going to say bias to my Impact thing, right?
Yes.
Started seeing some of the shenanigans, and I was like, oh, okay, I really didn't expect Shelly Martinez to, act all crazy like this. And Allie Baby Doll Parks, we obviously know her, fights in LFC the whole way through, and we know how much of a beast she is, and the booty camp queen. So. Yep. We do know all these amazing things that she is. I thought she won this fight. I will not lie to you. When they went unanimous, I was like, damn, I really thought she won this fight. And I was like, kind of, okay, I could see why they picked Shelly Martinez. And there was something about Shelly Martinez that kind of made me fall back from her. I don't know if it's because of the negative things that I thought were a little too not classy enough in my book, that I was like, I was kind of taken back from it, and I was like, I'm not really feeling you. I'm going to become, obviously an Allie Baby Doll Parks fan, and it's just my biasness that I did not feel that Shelly Martinez was classy at all before, after, knowing a bunch of LFC stuff. There's always something negative about her, and I was like, damn, man, like all these other girls, like if you look at the rivalry between Bloody Valentine and Tomiko. How do you say her name?
Tomiko the Temptress Tajima.
There you go. I'm so tired of butchering this poor lady's name, and she's absolutely beautiful, and she's a sweetheart. And I feel like by now people like, this guy's a jerk. He's always making fun of her name. I just can't say it. But those two women have such a crazy rivalry, but you've never seen nasty antics from them. Like, I mean, you've seen, hair pulling and kicks and punches and, trying to beat each other up before the bell and kicking in the lady parts.
The nether region.
Yeah. Like, you've seen some wild things, but you've never seen kind of what Shelly Martinez was doing. And it kind of, in a way, turned me off. And I was like, I can't really mess with her. So I was hoping, Allie Baby Doll Parks won. They did not. But, yeah, I'm not feeling Shelly Martinez.
So pretty much what Sheffro was saying, and this is where I got to call him out on this, and I'll call him out in 2 seconds. But when he's talking about the nether regions, people think of Busta Rhymes. He had the infamous song, "Woo-ha, got you all checked." Well, this is the hoo-ha, people. So, yes, I digress. Anyway, this is where I call Sheffro out. Man, you just want to sit here on this podcast and talk about, all I'm saying, baby, is Shelly after that Shelly Martinez. She's an impact girl, baby, Salinas. Don't just act like you don't want to be biased towards her because she was in LAX. Stop it. That's where you start. LAX.
Oh, no, definitely. Like, it was straight up because she was in LAX. There was no question about it. I didn't want to make this an Impact show, and I will not. But I'm a big LAX fan. I love LAX. I've loved it from the transition into LAX where, what were they before? There was a name before LAX, and then they went to LAX.
Oh, well, they were the Latin American. Well, they were originally LAX, Latin American Exchange. They originally had Hernandez and Apollo in there, and then Apollo got out, and then they brought in Homicide, and then
I thought Hector Guerrero was part of it.
Hector Guerrero, there was still LAX. Hector Guerrero,
Okay. I thought there was a name prior, and then it went to LAX. But and I'm wrong. I got no problem being wrong. I'm just an LAX fan. I love LAX. She was part of LAX. When I seen her there, I think I might have even hit up Mr. Larkin like, "Yo, is that Shelly Martinez from Impact?" And he was like,
yes.
"Yeah, absolutely."
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh, let's get it popping." Then I seen what I seen, and I was like, "Let's go, Allie Baby Doll Parks." I hope Shelly Martinez gets her beat up.
Yes, and don't act like, first of all, Mr. Talk about LFC 26. Yes, Allie Baby Doll Park's the booty camp champ, and you just wanted to say booty because you got your Bubba Sparks and Yin Yang Twins on your mind. Booty rocking everywhere. This is a show about combative nature, Chef, and you just want to talk about the booty. I digress. I'm kidding. This one over here, the booty man, that thong song. Somebody put on some Cisco. Anyway, I digress.
Get that man singing that track.
Yeah, you be throwing some shade on that track. You be just going in on that track, man. Put some fire on it. Put some respect on your name, Mister. Yo, she's in the booty camp. Yeah, I see where you're going, booty man. And I'm not talking about Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Hello. Next battle, we got Andrea the Storm Vladoi from Romania, the former LFC champion herself, now retired LFC fighter, taking on one of your personal favorites, Lauren the Animal Fogel, former LFL All-Star, along with fellow LFC prospect, the lovely Miss Ty Emery. Coming out to the Lights Go Out by Fozzy, who's a big Chris Jericho fan, is one Lauren the Animal Fogel. Andrea the Storm Vladoi gymnastics team, Romania, has a lot of great bouts, and she'll tell you first and foremost that she is an Olympic athlete, as she says. Andrea the Storm Vladoi dominated, man. She got the submission. She got the choke. Woo! She came in hot. She came in ferocious at this particular time. She had lost an LFC 24 Eurobash to Jolene the Valkyrie Hex for the European title over there in Bratislava. So, my goodness gracious, a lot of things running up emotion-wise for Andrea the Storm Vladoi. And even after the bout, she's like, oh, she seemed lost in there. And that's exactly what it was because, my goodness gracious, Lauren the Animal Fogel got a little something in there. And I'm not talking Maxwell, ROCK, with you, baby. I digress. Check out that Urban Hang Suite. Woo! But Andrea the Storm Vladoi, Lauren the Animal Fogel, it was a little bit of a one-sided contest. Andrea the Storm Vladoi getting that choke. Sheffro, thoughts on these ladies?
I don't want to be that person to quickly just hate on something, right? But I'm gonna hate. I'm gonna hate.
All right, be a hater.
So,
you a hater.
Oh yeah, somebody give me my hated degree because I watched this and I wanted to choke Larkin because I was like, damn, I gotta talk about this when my girl got her ass whooped. Yes. And I was not feeling the ass whooping. I love Lauren Fogel. I just when you watch someone you like get thugged out the way she got thugged out, I was like, man, how do I even talk this without saying whatever? But let me tell you something. At the end of the day, this chick could be a gymnastics person or whatever she was, Olympic something or another. Listen, at the end of the day, she still don't look half as good as Lauren Fogel. So Lauren Fogel, she gets the win for the beauty, baby.
You just said throw athleticism out the window. She gets the win on looks. I like your style. Okay. So, first and foremost, I'm going to use the word. Lauren the Animal Folga, and I love Lauren to death, got molly-whopped in this bout. You know what it was, Chef? I'm going to use another hip-hop reference, man, and you can understand me on this. Andrea the Storm Bedoya was pretty much like, "Ante up!" Drop that ball. If you tell her, "Ante up!" You know what I'm saying there, Chef Ro.
You know what? You're not cool no more.
Oh my God. Throw some D's on that bitch. Hello. Anyway, Andrea the Stormblood door absolutely mollywopped in this one. Talk about I'm not cool, man. You want to talk about bias, man. Lauren the Animal Fogel, man. I love her too. But god dang, man, admit defeat. Admit defeat.
No, listen, I'll take the licks. My girl got her ass whooped. But like I said, she can have whatever those cute little acrobatic things she does, whatever they're called. I don't even know what Olympics she was in. And don't remind me because I don't want to know. But listen, Lauren Fogel is just a beast. She's one of the baddest chicks in the game. So Lauren Fogel, she gets the W just on looks alone.
All right, I'm just saying, man, because if you can't take the L, we've seen a lot of things going on in this country where people can't take the L. Did I go there? Yes, I did. So we're going to go into the next bout on that note. We have Danielle Cowbell St. Pierre taking on Serena Honey Punch Kyle. Now, Chef Ro, this is a rematch from LFC 21, where Serena Honey Punch Kyle got the victory with an armbar. And no, I'm not talking about the Dean Malenko list of 1,000 holds from Nitro. Move number 1, armbar. Take a look at that one, folks. But we also have Danielle St. Pierre, Serena Honey Punch Kyle, which what's great about that name is Serena's such a beauty, such a little cutie. It's one of the things, man, she's sweet like honey, but she stings like a bee. Hence Serena Honey Punch Kyle. We got Danielle Cowbell St. Pierre. My goodness gracious, man. These two, once again, dominated the technical knockout, the strikes, the ground game of Danielle Cowbell St. Pierre, pretty much tapping from mounted strikes did Serena Honey Punch Kyle. This was the rematch. They're officially 1-1 against each other. Danielle St. Pierre with a victory, Serena Honey Punch Kyle with a victory. We definitely have to get that rubber match in the future between these two. So I want to get your thoughts. Danielle Cowbell St. Pierre, and Serena Honey Punch Kyle. What'd you think, Chef Ro?
You know what? I'm glad you said that because that's how I was going to start off. I'm like, how do we get these two amazing matches and we don't have a third yet? You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be the payoff. One of these women have to get that third win, the best out of 3, because both fights have been amazing fights. It wasn't like one just dominated, then the other one just dominated. These girls, they're coming in here with, it seems like a personal vendetta. And in these fights, both women look absolutely amazing. I'm so surprised at the Serena. I think her name is Serena Kyle, right?
Yeah, Serena Honey Punch Kyle.
And it's funny because when I saw her name on, I think of Twitter I was like, Serena Kyle, but I thought it was Selena Kyle from Batman Gotham, but it was not. And I was like, oh, this shorty is cool as hell, And I was surprised to see she fights bigger than her size. You know what I mean? Like, I actually was. She got me by surprise, and I want to see round 3 because you've seen, well, not round 3, fight 3. You've seen the first one. Now you've seen this one. And until there's a payoff, I don't think we could go in enough because we've seen 2 amazing bouts and we need that third and final fight.
Agreed. And by the way, first and foremost, when you were talking about Shorty, and I got to do this to you because, man, you're opening up that can of worms, Chef Ro. You're opening up yourself to this. It's like Shorty?
It's my age.
Was it like Shorty from around the way? Like every day? Around the way girl, Mr. LL Cool J over here, Queens, my city, I rep my city. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're pretty much putting out here?
Listen, in that pop culture show we did, he stole my leg up, right? I told you that, and I told the story on your show.
Go back and listen to the Pop Culture History podcast. Man, you were in ham on the fact that he stole it from you. Pretty much, you know what they say? When people steal something, some say, nah, it's borrowing. He's covering up. You know what I'm saying? He stole from you. You're the original. You're the OG. That's what you're saying. Hey.
All right, I can respect that.
Hey, I mean, it's not like we've not seen people borrow in history. I mean, look at the social network, for God's sake. The Winklevosses had an idea, and here comes Mark Zuckerberg. Oh, I'm going to call it Facebook. There's still debate of that over the years, people. We've seen debate over that with social media over the years. So, hey, sometimes you borrow, sometimes you just flat out steal. But either way, 5-finger discount. Anyway, I digress.
Wait, before we go into anything else, if there was a third fight, who do you think comes out?
Out of these two? I'll
Yes,
be
sir.
honest with you, if I had to choose, and I love Danielle St. Pierre so much, but the speed and the ferociousness and the quickness of Serena Honey Punch Kyle, I got to give it to Serena because you know what it is? It's a looks can be deceiving type of feel. She looks so sweet up. She
1000%.
smile. Yeah, she's smiling. She's sweet, but god dang, man, when you get in there, shit's popping off. So yes, I would have to give it to Serena.
I first seen her, I was like, oh, she's gonna get mauled,
Yeah.
and I'm so glad I was wrong. You know what I mean? Like I was like, what just happened? And that's what I'm saying with her. It's like you said, looks to be deceiving.
And Chef, I'd like to throw this number out to you. 95% of the time. You know what 95% of the time is?
No, sir.
You're wrong 95% of the time. Anyway, I digress.
Well, not me, but
right. Anyway, dude, the next one is one of the big bouts that was in LFC 25 around this time. It's Jesse El Toro Santos against Shay the Fox Mazzato, a David and Goliath style bout. Now, Chef, I had to do some research before we did this show. I got to say, this is one of the most viewed clips on the LFC YouTube. It is Hot Fighter twerks on opponent's head because of the maneuver that happened in this bout, which we will talk about. You know how many views that's got on LFC? One of the biggest views in LFC history. You know how many views that video got?
I think it got over 1 million views.
1 million views!
Yeah, yes, sir.
Oh. My goodness. But anyway, yes, this is one of the ones that people talk about in LFC history. We got the dominant, the prowess of Jesse El Toro Santos. Now, we've seen her go in there prior to against the likes of Ali Baby Doll Parks, Roxy Roundhouse Michaels, Natasha Rattlesnake Rodriguez. And I got to say, this is one of Jesse's standout bouts. And as we've seen going forward with bouts against Tomiko and Lauren the Animal Fogel, this was the start of the 3-win streak because ever since this bout, Jesse has not lost a bout since their competition in LFC. Then you got the ultimate underdog, Shay the Fox Mazzato, a former LFC champion, the shortest LFC champion of just 1 day. But god dang, man, when these two got in there, it was chemistry. We saw the absolute ragdoll. We saw the fact of the ground game, the infamous twerk on her head. We've seen gunt wrench suplexes. We've seen Shay come off the cage like she's freaking Spider-Man, taking down Jesse El Toro Santos. It was a bout that was very, very good. You saw a lot of respect between the two. You saw the hug at the end. This is one of those bouts that will stick out in the history and annals of lingerie fighting championships, that is LFC. And Jesse El Toro gets the win by unanimous decision. And I got to ask you, David and Goliath style bout, Jesse El Toro Santos, Shay the Fox Mazzato, your thoughts?
This is one of my all-time favorite LFC fights of all time. I thought both women, this was arguably, if they would have said either or, you're okay with it. You really, both women went all out. They left nothing on the table. This was a fight. This was, like you said, I mean, you talking some Spider-Man. I mean, if you watch the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire where he's going against the Macho Man, this felt like something like that real quick. It was absolutely mayhem. Listen, I give so much credit to, and I always call her Mrs. Spud because that's Spud's wife, right?
No, that's Roxy Roundhouse Michaels. We haven't gotten there yet, Chef. You're jumping ahead.
I'm jumping ahead. I'm all over the place right now. Don't blame it on me. Blame it on my kids. They're home due to COVID. Thank you very much for stressing me out.
Hold on a second, brother. I got to cut you off for that. You're talking about blaming. You're going to blame it on the rain, Millie Vanilli style? You're going to blame it on the alcohol? What's up, man? You just going to blame it on the kids? Put the blame on me.
I'll blame everybody. I'm going to blame it on well, we were just talking her name. The one right before this who beat my girl Lauren Fogel.
Oh, Andrea the Storm Ladoy.
It's her fault. It ain't my kid's fault. It's her fault. She's the reason why I'm all over the place. She got me all bottled up and stressed out right now.
He's into some feelings. It's just emotions taking you over. Thank you, Pete. Let's go ahead.
But no, I love this fight. And to be honest with you, like I said, if you had a top 3, this is definitely, I don't know what your top 3 would be, but this is definitely going to be definitely 2 or 3 and my all-time favorites. Because a match in 30 was my all-time favorite, but I won't go into that.
Oh, okay. Well, first and foremost, that is in my top 3. The one that she recently just had with Danica De La Rouche is very, very good. This one is in my top 2 as well because I have this one. And a lot of the fights with Jessie have been very good. I think the chemistry that she had with Lauren the Animal Fogel ranks up there, but those are my top 3. And when it comes to Jessie, I mean, such a standpoint, such a focal point of LFC. Same with Shay the Fox Mazzato. I mean, my God, she was in there with Monica Flowerbomb Garcia for the vacant LFC championship back, I believe, at LFC 23. And then we see pretty much what she's done with Feather the Hammer Haddon, who was one of the original LFC champions. She's just one that really sticks out and stands out, and it's a nice mesh between the two, and they've had memorable bouts in LFC. I mean, Shay the Fox Mazzato gave Monica Flowerbomb Garcia a bloody nose at LFC. So it's one of those things where you just look at it like that from LFC 28 with her and Monica the second go bout around. But god dang, man, this is one that really stands up and holds up in the annals of LFC history. And speaking of someone that holds up in the annals and history of LFC, we have next up Jolene the Valkyrie Hex, LFC European champion. Yes, against CJ Kellerman, CJ Ice Cold Kellerman. Now, I got to ask you, man, Outcast fan, what's cooler than being cool? Ice Cold? Hey, yeah.
Listen, I'm not a big Outcast fan. I don't like Outcast. I don't like their music. They might have had like.
You're not gonna have Stankonia?
No,
You're not gonna have Playable?
No. I'm telling you, I do not like Andre 3000, 2000, 4000, whatever he is. Man. You know, like, and I think I don't remember. What was the other one? Something Boy, right?
Big boy.
Big boy. I'm not a fan of none of those guys.
Oh my goodness, just gonna throw some shade on Outcast, man. You're not even sorry, Miss Jackson, but you are being for real, Chef. You're being for real.
I am, and it's not that I don't like the South because I'm a huge Master P fan. So like, it's not because they're from the South or whatever, and I'm from New York and I like a certain sound. I've never been a fan of Outkast. You know me, I don't like goofy stuff, and I do think that they do some goofy music.
Well, I think it really comes into fruition now what you're all about, because you said you're a Master P fan. Folks, what pretty much Chef is saying to you right here, right now, Jesus Jones, is the fact that he wants to make you say na na na, and he's a no-limit soldier. You got no limits. You got no limits, Chef. That was what you're saying?
You know what? I'm with that. 1,000,000%. Let's get it popping.
Na 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 na. Okay. So with this bout here, I got to say, Jolene the Valkyrie Hex coming in cocky, right? Who is this girl? Who is it? Now, what's funny about this is this was not originally supposed to be her opponent, as we saw at the end, where she's talking about, because Coach Joe came before this. She was originally supposed to take on Genevieve Hex, a fellow Hex, but something occurred there, and we needed an opponent for Jolene. And then pretty much Joel kind of let her in like last minute, and pretty much we did not know who her opponent was going to be. So here comes CJ Ice Cold Kellerman. Bada bing, bada boom. She did her thing. She looked good in the first round, and you know they both did their thing retrospectively. But I also look at it from a standpoint as we go into the second round, gets that submission in, that arm bar, man, that arm bar taps out quickly. This was the debut of CJ Ice Cold Kellerman going against a vet at this time, the newly crowned LFC European champion Jolene the Valkyrie Hex. All right, thoughts on the semi-main event between Jolene the Valkyrie Hex and CJ Ice Cold Kellerman? Chef, go.
Listen, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened here.
Yes.
Jolene Hex, one of the biggest beasts of LFC. Yep. So basically, she was prepared to fight one person. Didn't happen. So the first round, you seen Jolene just scouting her opponent. You could say what you want. She was just feeling her out. And then what happened second round? She sized her up. She figured her out, and she threw a beating on her. That's the kind of, legit badass Jolene the Valkyrie Hex is, and there's only one real Hex in LFC, and that's the Valkyrie.
Oh, 100%. Also, I think you're just a fan of Krav Maga, which Jolene the Valkyrie Hex specializes in. Krav Maga. You're a Krav Maga fan is what you are.
You know what it is? It's so crazy with Jolene Hex because the first one I watched is, which is the one where she came out the crowd? That was 28?
Yes, that was 28 when she took on a Gypsy Top Shelf Bay, yes.
So the first LFC I've ever watched was LFC 28. And obviously, Gypsy Bay was supposed to have an opponent. She was talking crazy. And then out of the crowd comes some girl. I have no idea who any of these people are. I'm admitting it's the first show I've watched. So I'm like, who the hell is this girl? She comes out. And I mean, if you want to watch a one-sided ass whooping, is what Jolene Hex was doing. And then she starts talking ish to the
Holly Lotus May, yep.
Interim president who don't want to be the president. We don't know what's going on with that yet. We know she wants to get back into the ring, but she starts talking mad crazy to her, which leads to something else. And I'm going to tell you now, if you want to watch somebody entertain the hell out of you and beat somebody up, Jolene Hex is that person.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you look at also Gypsy Top Shelf Bay from that particular time period, like she had a rough 2 nights. She had Jolene the Valkyrie Hex, and then she had the beat down with Lauren the Animal Fogel. She had a rough 2 nights.
Who whooped up on her bad.
Yes. But when you look at Jolene the Valkyrie Hex, when you look at her in LFC history, you think of her bouts with Feather the Hammerhead, and you think of the rivalry with Andrea the Storm Vladoy, who he's still not happy about because of what happened earlier with her and Lauren the Animal Fogel. But, I mean, you think of a lot of great stuff. And also, Here's what's funny about it is, too, I mean, you guys had watched LFC 26. Jolene the Valkyrie Hex was the debut opponent for Miss Bella Inc., which we saw there. And, I mean, she's yeah, I got to just say, Jolene the Valkyrie Hex, one of my favorite people, very fun person. But don't let that smile that we see on Jolene the Valkyrie Hex fool you, because she has got it and all that in a bag of chips. Yes, I'm throwing it back. All that in a bag of chips, Chef Ro.
Hey, you went to the bodega, got the quarter water and the 25-cent chips.
I did. Went down to the bodega, bodega. I'm not a player. I just crush a lot. Rest in peace, Big Pun. That is what I did. Yes, sir. All right. Moving on to the main event of LFC 25. Bro, we got Roxy Roundhouse Michaels taking on Monica Flowerbomb Garcia for the LFC Championship. But before we even get into the bout, a fan comes in, pretty much puts a hand on that booty, and gets ejected immediately.
Now, what the hell was up with that? Because I don't know. I was kind of surprised they got that close that fast. I mean, obviously, people are right there. But I was actually very surprised that had happened. And I would have loved to have seen the girls maul them. Like, yep. I would, just turn around and just beat the hell out of them. But, at that point, I think it's the only time it's ever happened, thank God. And I've never seen it prior or, from what I've watched. Listen, learn your lessons. And I hope they do what they do in casinos. If you want to touch one of these girls' asses, I hope they take you to a room and stomp you out.
Oh, agreed. I mean, after this, we've seen a lot of people get drunk and a lot of stuff like this, whether it be not just wrestling, but athletic events in general, man. You can't be doing that. But yeah, he got out of there really quickly.
Larkin, if you want, put the bug in the ear. I'll do security. And if they want me to bring someone to a room and close the door like, a Bronx Tale, I could do that real quick.
I bet you can. I was about to say, you're going to turn into Carlito's Way next? Pulp Fiction? What are you doing over here, man?
Forget about it.
Just interrogate him, man, like friggin' Basic Instinct. All you need is friggin' Sharon Stone up in this bitch. What the hell are you doing over here, man? How about sadomasochistic activity, Chef Ro over here with your bad self? Anyway, go to the main event of LFC 25. My goodness. Roxy Roundhouse Michaels, as a lot of people know, professional wrestler Renee Michelle, the wife of Roxy Drake Maverick. We've seen her do some work in the Mae Young Classic. We've seen her wrestle on Monday Night Raw. A hell of a talent in her own right. Then we got Monica Flowerbomb Garcia here, who is the current LFC champion in this particular time period. Man, these two go the distance as well. It's a split decision because we've seen leg submissions. We've seen overpowering on Monica Flowerbomb Garcia's size with her power, with her strength, and her stature. But Roxy Roundhouse Michaels, one of the reasons why her name is what it is, man. She's got a powerful roundhouse kick. She knows how to ground you, and she's very, very tough. Same with Monica Flowerbomb Garcia. And it's also, this is another one of my favorites in regards to LFC bouts. Roxy Roundhouse Michaels gets the win. Split decision. She is the new LFC champion coming out of LFC 25. I got to ask you, thoughts on the main event between Roxy Roundhouse Michaels and Monica Flowerbomb Garcia?
Listen, I'm a fan of both of these ladies. I do tailor more into Flowerbomb Garcia. I think she's amazing, and I do love her physical dominance of some of these girls. Like, she knows how to, position herself. She's got great ground technique. You know what I mean? Like, I love what Flowerbomb Garcia does. I was surprised that Mrs. Spud was as great defensively, because a lot of these girls, when Monica Garcia gets on top of them, they just take ass whoopings, and eventually they'll slither out or whatever. But she puts a beating on them and dominates point wise like that. Where Mrs. Spud, I'm sorry if I call her Mrs. Spud. That's why I like calling her, because my man rocks our Spud. But she just felt like she was always in control. And it was so weird to see, even when she was not in control, it was like she was ahead of the next step. And I got why, the turnout was the turnout. But I was so surprised of how calm she was in bad positions that she was put in, and she kept coming out on top. And I was like, wow, this is another David and Goliath to me, because size-wise, you look at Flowerbomb Garcia and you're like, oh, she's going to physically manhandle this girl. But Mrs. Spud was able to, counter a lot. So I was very surprised at how good she was defensively. I don't even want to talk about her offense. Defensively, she was on another level. This might have been the best defensive fight that she had in LFC. And, it did what she had to do for her. But let me tell you this, another time where Flowerbomb Garcia took a L and dominated after.
100%. I also look at it from the stance of, as someone who's gotten to talk and speak of Renee, Roxy Roundhouse Michaels, what I love about Renee is the fact that she's one of these girls when it goes into the fights. She's also very calm, not like Serena Honey Punch Kyle, nice and sweet, but also she is very sweet, don't get me wrong, but with her, she's just very calm, and she's like, okay, I'm going to do what I got to do, and then she goes in and handles business. That's what I like, man. You just go right in there and you handle business. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen before this in this particular time period, god dang, man, right before this at LFC 24 Euro Bash, which her and Jesse El Toro Santos absolutely killed it. We've seen it. We've seen her dress as the school. We're coming up to that. We're going to be coming up to that. You're going to see that. But god dang, man, we've seen her against, my goodness, Raya Ryans at LFC 22 Costume Brawl, dressing as a schoolgirl. We've seen her with Shelly Aphrodite Silva. She's had some high-profile bouts in LFC history, which we're going to see. But this was just a pure dominant performance by both ladies, and Roxy Roundhouse Michaels getting the dub to become the new LFC champion. And one thing I actually wanted to add as we are finishing covering up this event, you know what's an interesting factoid about this is? LFC 25 took place, Sam's Town Casino. Showdown at Sam's Town. Talk about Las Vegas, Nevada. Sheffro, this would be the last ring announcing job for AJ Kirsch for a little bit before he would come back at LFC 27 and 28 to ring announce, because at LFC 26, and this is where the tie-in and correlation comes in, Christian Cole was the ring announcer, and a lot of people could see what he's done in places like PCW Ultra in California with professional wrestling and ring announcing. And at this same very venue, he was the ring announcer for the Impact as well. So, hey, we have a ring announcer back, PCW, coming into LFC 26 at their event in Las Vegas for Booty Camp, ring announcing. So we've seen a lot of ties and correlations with that, and this is around the time when AJ Kirsch would go do the WWE video game, and now AJ Kirsch and his prominence as one of the commentary team for MLW Major League Wrestling. So it's amazing to see everything come in full circle, Sheffro.
Oh, absolutely. And to be honest with you, when you were talking video games, I would love to see an LFC video game. I'm just throwing it out there. Throwing it in the
We've been putting, you know what, I've been so like yourself. I've been wanting to see that as well. God dang, man, it's like the days of the 80s. Just put like a cartoon, like we had the rock and wrestling cartoon with Hulk Hogan. Put a cartoon. Give me some ice cream bars. Give me a video game. Just give me more. No, I'm not talking about Britney Spears. I'm talking about give me some more LFC, Sheffro.
You know what? We might have to do a show just on a video game. Throw some goofy ideas out there and just have some fun with it. You know, hopefully it sticks. Maybe the fans, you know, you never know if they want to do, you know, a GoFundMe, see if fans, you know, want to invest and do an independent kind of game thing. It could happen. I mean, who don't want to play with a bunch of gorgeous ladies kicking each other's asses?
Of course. And you know what you just had to right now there, and I got to say this, we're brainstorming. That's why I love you. But you kind of had that JP mindset in Angels in the Outfield. Hey, it could happen because he wanted to see Angels. He really tried. You just turned into JP from Angels in the Outfield, Sheffro.
I feel heavenly right now.
That's what you do. Last to what I got. Did you notice who the ring girl was for this particular event, Mr. Sheffro?
Holy snap. I don't think I paid attention. Who was the ring girl?
So going into the event, we saw the girls checking them. The girl that was there was Jen Rep, a.k.a. Jen the Realtor Rep, who we would see take on. Yes! She started as the ring girl, and then the next
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, bro. The blonde that's checking the girls with the black. Yeah, that's Jen the Realtor Rep.
She was just in 30, right?
She was in 26, not
26,
30.
26.
Yeah.
No, I know who it is. Oh man, now I gotta pay attention more to. Is she the only one that's came out from that?
Yeah, from the ring girl wise, looking at it and looking back in the test of time, man. Yeah, she started as the ring girl at 25, and then bada boom, next event she's fighting.
That's freaking awesome. Right time, right place.
Exactly, man. Opportunities, baby. It knocks. That's the saying. Opportunity knocks, and it's not knocking on heaven's door. That's what it's doing, Shep. That's what it's doing. But yes, that is LFC 25 Showdown at Sam's Town. I hope you guys enjoyed this review that we put on you, filling with pop culture, our banter, our little fun, our chemistry as we do, Mr. Sheffro. Entertaining for the people. I feel good. Emphasis on the good. Now, Sheffro, before we close this out, I will say this. Guys, tune into some more LFC reviews. Tune into the LFC podcast, Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are, on all audio platforms from SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Anchor. I mean, we're pretty much all over the place from the audio platforms as well as the WrestlingWithWrestling.com website and YouTube. And Sheffro, I got to say this, man, do your plugs as well, because I'm saying, and I got to just say this, I know you don't like to plug yourself sometimes, but god dang, man, the Urban Wrestling Network doing the damn thing with the LFC coverage. And as someone who does a lot of great work with LFC, the podcast, and someone who is your friend, y'all are killing it. So go ahead and promote yourself.
You know what? all I'm going to say is going to be www.urbanwrestlingnetwork.com. As for myself, it's at Heel Team 6 brand. I kind of keep everything just stuff that I work on. My personal stuff, don't worry about it. If you mess with me, you mess with me. You'll see me on one of these things. There's enough lanes to find me. Ladies and gentlemen, I have so much fun with this. This is my brother from another mother. You know, I love LFC. He loves LFC. He's the voice of LFC. And I'm just enjoying my time here.
Same, man. I got to say this for me. I got a little gimmick myself. I'm the podcast machine. You can check me out on all platforms, StephenMikeShow.com, Max Wrestling Podcast. Wherever you hear my voice, enjoy it because I love what I do. And as this man does, because we're both podcasters, we love providing the entertainment. We love providing the content. And you got to support one another in this amazing podcasting community. So subscribe to the YouTube, Urban Wrestling Network. Subscribe to Lingerie Fighting Championship. Subscribe to LFC on OnlyFans. We got an OnlyFans page now, people. We are doing the damn thing on OnlyFans. We got to see a lot of beautiful women fighting, looking as only as they can look. I feel like Nature Boy Ric Flair right now. And on that note, I'm going to close this out. We on that Ric Flair drip. My name is Mike Larkin for Mr. Sheffro. This concludes the review of LFC 25, the showdown at Sam's Town. And we out.